everybody? It's your boy Ryan, and this is the Thunder Channel. On nootropics, on testosterone, on performing well and feeling awesome. Thanks so much for being with me. I am your host, Ryan Michael BALLOW. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hit the bell to get notified of all the content I'm pushing out. If you get the YouTube app, where is it? There it is. It'll notify you in real time of all the content coming out of this channel. A couple products support this broadcast. They are the following: the Cortex stack, heavy nootropic stack for dopamine. Secondarily, the Torque stack, 6 to 8 hours of all-day energy. Lastly, I'm a consultant on biohacking and nootropics, and you can hire me in under a minute at livecortex.com. All right, so even though this video is targeted toward entrepreneurs, I'm not specifically talking exclusively to entrepreneurs. I'm obviously talking to anyone that's interested in nootropics. But to entrepreneurs, listen up. Nootropics are vital for you. Look, I built 3 successful companies now using nootropics. I mean, looking back, I don't think I would have been able to build those companies like at their peak in revenue without using nootropics. I want to talk about how vital nootropics are for entrepreneurs, given the sheer man hours that you put in and the workload, like how much critical thinking you have to do, how much activity your brain has to kind of constantly engage. And I'm going to give you some of my favorite nootropic options for basically being able to hustle 16/7, 365. Because as an entrepreneur, you guys know that's pretty much your schedule. So first, let me take you back to my second successful company. It's a company called iMobile Rescue. What I did back in the day is I capitalized on like the booming iPhone industry, and I built a screen repair company. And at that company, I was working 15-hour days, like doing admin, doing sales, doing marketing, doing the technical and the repair work, and then doing like other administrative stuff like inventory and whatever else, scheduling. I was insanely busy. And in order to keep up with that, I was taking the following stack: 150 milligrams uridine, 85 milligrams CDP choline, 100 milligrams of artichoke extract, and 500 milligrams of Alcar. Now, this gave me a lot of motivation. It gave me a ton of energy, and it dramatically improved my computing power. As if it just like added extra reserves to the sort of cognitive function reservoir. By the way, that stack eventually became the Cortex stack, and that's part of the story for how it came to be. Alternatively, to get me through like starting the day at 7, doing admin right away, dealing with scheduling, and then right to repair work, technical work, doing customer service, answering phones, doing sales, and everything else in between, I relied pretty heavily on modafinil. Now, I actually got sick with mono back in 2014, and I had extreme fatigue, so I went to a doc and actually got a script for modafinil because I had mono. And I was taking like 150 milligrams, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 times a week. Utterly game-changing. Helped me tremendously to function. Now, at the time, I was focused on taking that company national, so that was a lot of hustling. It was a lot of sales. It was a lot of outreach, a lot of emailing, cold emailing random people. And in that time, I was relying on modified Cortex / Cortex stack, modafinil, nootropics like theobromine and phenylpiracetam, a very particular phenylpiracetam stack, and I'm going to get to that in a bit. Obviously, L-theanine, the rest of the racetams, Noopept, and pretty much everything in between. And I took that company national, so it actually worked. So this is what I mean about the difference. We had recruited companies like Crayola to be customers. So like that was huge for me, a young entrepreneur. I had like 1 employee and largely contractors. Like it was just me and one other guy. Taking all those nootropics, albeit in a cyclical manner, allowed me to take that company to its peak at about $350,000 in revenue a year. I mean, I was killing it, but with great success comes great stress. And yeah, I was stressed like to the gill. I was completely overworked. I was anxious as hell. I was not nice to people around me. And what ended up saving my ass was another nootropic. It was high dosing a compound called L-theanine. It's an amino acid that modifies serotonin and GABA concentrations, but also induces an alpha brainwave in your state, somewhat comparable to the state that you would end up in if you meditated for 20 minutes. And I was mega dosing theanine, like 1 gram to 1,500 milligrams a day. And it helped. It helped so much to chill that anxiety out and kind of get me back level, so much that I actually did a video about it. In addition, look, I was a young guy, so I wasn't as disciplined as I am now with sleep, so I kind of slept like crap some nights. And like I would wake up in the morning and realize like, shit, I need to do something about how sludgy my brain is. And so back then, I recognized that OXIRACETAM, a cyclic derivative of GABA, another racetam nootropic, like was profoundly powerful in renewing my brain function, reviving me from sleep deficits. Now, making the transition to Cortex Labs, which by the way is a thing, I was running that other company and then was, formulating Cortex and building Cortex Labs. That was hard, right? To be running this company like 15 hours a day, and then on my off time, which was not much time because I had to sleep, building Cortex Labs and setting up this channel and setting up the company. So look, I relied on things like the Cortex stack, modafinil, theobromine, phenylpiracetam, all the rest of the racetams, Noopept, Lacuna, basically every other nootropic you can think of. Like there was a 6-month stint where I was using high-dose tyrosine. And, you know, although I don't recommend that, it definitely gave me the energy to like uber multitask on running one company and building another. But there was a particular phenylpiracetam stack that was like incredibly helpful, and I want to give you that stack. It was 175 milligrams phenylpiracetam, 80 milligrams of alpha GPC, 50 milligrams of theobromine, and 100 milligrams of L-theanine. Alternatively, I was using piracetam a lot those days, back in those days. I still use it now, but just not as much. And I was a stack that I relied on pretty heavily, and that is the following: 3 grams piracetam, 100 milligrams alpha GPC, and 400 milligrams of Alcar. Now, eventually I transitioned out of that previous company. I was trying to sell it, but I ended up not being able to do it because of some, logistical mistakes that I had made with company structure and a few other things. I transitioned into full-time doing Cortex Labs. Like that's where this channel was created. I was doing videos like every day or every other day, really heavily getting into nootropics. These days I'm taking a lot of Torque. I still take modafinil. I'm obviously taking Cortex. I rely on Alcar as a pretty daily nootropic. I'm taking compounds like PRL853, dihexa, 9-MEBC, and bromontane. And looking back, okay, so here's the point. Yes, I am a driven dude. Yes, I am disciplined. Yes, I am motivated as an entrepreneur. Yes, this is my life. But there is no way I would have been able to do all of that as fast as I did it without nootropics. Still would have built successful companies because that's who I am, but I never would have gotten here as quick as I have. Like all that personal development stuff totally played a role. I am huge into personal development, but nootropics were like part 2 of my success. I honestly say to some of my like business peers, I go to like some business meetups here in Pittsburgh, I tell them like, you guys are way behind, dude. If you're not using nootropics, like you're missing out. I mean, the sole thing that drives your productivity, your ingenuity, your creativity, your ability to work for many hours without stopping is your brain. And nootropics have the ability to enhance that main core component that makes you productive. Anyway, use nootropics if you are an entrepreneur. They are cutting edge tools to help you in business. Mentioned in this video, number 1, the Cortex stack. Again, I've relied pretty heavily on this stack. That's why it ultimately ended up being a commercial nootropic stack back in the day to make me uber productive for long periods of time. Motivation, mental energy, the will to work for long periods of time, and the cognitive reserve to have it, plus dopamine energy. You can buy Cortex literally right now in the description on this video or at our website, livecortex.com. Secondarily, and I wanted to mention a special for you folks, since I normally don't talk about this on this channel, we just send it to the email list. The Torque stack, 6 to 8 hours of clean stimulant energy, but Torque right now, my friends, is BOGO. Yeah, you heard that right, dude. We are literally running a buy one, get one free with the Torque nootropic stack right now. This is what you have to do. Add a bottle of Torque to your cart, use the coupon code TORQUEBOGO. Torque space BOGO. That's it. Hit apply coupon at checkout and it'll literally tack on an extra bottle of Torque for free and you will only pay for one. Yes, Torque is buy one, get one free. We've never done a BOGO on Torque, never ever since it launched. This is the first BOGO on the Torque stack. So go buy a bottle. I'm so excited about it because I know how powerful the stack is. Like I take it all the time. It's very strong. Go do it while it lasts. We will end that soon because we're already blowing out of inventory. So go get Torque, buy one, get one free, livecortex.com. And if you're an entrepreneur and you haven't tried Torque, you have to try Torque. It will literally change the game. If you need my help, I'm a biohacking consultant. I will help you formulate nootropic stacks, target regimens that are specific to you for energy, testosterone, and otherwise. You can hire me in under a minute at livecortex.com and you can book with me as soon as tomorrow. You guys know the routine. So much more content to come. I'll talk to you next time.